Hello, thank you for making yourself a priority today. Today I'll be talking about my intermittent fasting journey and what I've noticed and where I'm headed. And so I invite you to come along with me. So my name is Yoli, short for Yolanda. I first want to say that I'm not a doctor nor nutritionist. I'm 51, blessed mother of three, and a wife. And I've always been curious about health. I've always tried to live a healthy life, and I think it's important. And I'm very blessed and thankful for the one body that God gave me, so I want to take good care of it. So another reason why I've always been interested in health is because I suffer from menstrual migraines. The hormones, gotta love our women's hormones. And they've been very, they're very painful. If you know from anything about migraines, and so I've always been searching for the perfect diet. Counting calories. Low carb, vegan. I've tried different things, and so I remember back in 2022, intermittent fasting really helped lower the days of the migraines. It didn't eliminate them, but definitely lowered, and that's a huge help because nobody wants pain. And so that's also another motivator because I want to be healthy. Migraines keep me from, doing activities with, my kiddos. And so I always feel like, left out, So that's another reason why I've always been interested in health. And I noticed with intermittent fasting, it helps to lower your inflammation because you have this window of when you're not eating, and it helps, your insulin level come down tremendously. So let me tell you what kicked off this journey. I'm going to name this video the fancy dress that motivated me again. So I was invited to be a madrina or a nina in a quinceañera. So I went shopping with my sister, and she saw a beautiful dress, a beautiful fancy dress. And she says, Yoli, I think you look great in this. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it was the specific colors that my niece had asked for. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take it home. And so I brought it home and I tried it on, and it just didn't zip up. And I'll show a picture. I guess if the zipper could talk, it would say, are you kidding me? So I took a pic and I thought, I go, you know what? This will be my before picture because I'm going to do all it takes to fit into this dress. So I had about 3 weeks, to lose some inches, some pounds. And I remember back in 2022, I actually was very successful with intermittent fasting. So it's not my first time. I knew it worked. And so I was like, I need to get back on the horse, back on track. And so I decided to get back on track. Back in 2022, I did the 16-8 method, which is I fasted 16 hours and I had an 8-hour eating window. And so that really worked with me. And I walked. I didn't jog like this time because this time I jogged because I really wanted to, I had only 3 weeks. So I did some jogging. So I started watching the experts that I watched back in 2022. The famous Dr. Jason Fung. If you know anything about intermittent fasting, he's the go-to. He's the one that inspired me back in 2022. And also Dr. Mindy Pelz, which talks about hormones, about women, premenopausal, menopausal, and so she's also a great doctor. And also I wanted to watch another mom. That not a doctor, not a nutritionist, but she's a mom, and she shared her journey. Her name is Jennifer, and she has the YouTube channel, the Daily Connoisseur, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think it's French. And so I really enjoyed watching her. And I still do, and I still watch her. So I recommend for you, to watch them and educate yourself about intermittent fasting before you begin. I love learning about the science behind fasting and how our body works. And I like when Dr. Jason Fung, says it's like your body eating itself. And I always picture, a Pac-Man, and it's like eating my tummy fat, or like And so it makes me want to go in maybe another hour when I picture that. It's kind of fun. But hey, whatever helps, right? Whatever works. All right, so I have my notes here, and I want to make sure I'm very transparent and accurate with my numbers, my fasting numbers. So we know that there's 21 days in 3 weeks. And out of those 21 days, I fasted a total of 12 times. And my average fasting was about 14 hours. Some days I would do 13, very rarely 12, but about 13, 14 hours. I drank just black coffee, water, sometimes put salt in my water, to help it a little bit for the electrolytes. And because I knew I only had 3 weeks, I decided to jog. My husband, he likes jogging, so he's like, let's, jog with me. And I've jogged before, but I walk more than jog. So I decided to jog, and I jogged about a mile, about 8 times during those 3 weeks. And jogged about a mile, like very slow jogging, nothing like fast pace. And of course, with that, my headphones, my music to motivate me, my running jams. So I focused on consistency and no extremes. It was just very consistent, and I was picturing myself fitting into the fancy dress and looking great at the quinceañera. Okay, so now the dress moment. So it was Sunday morning, and I told my husband, honey, ven, ciérrame el cierre, come zip it up for me. And so I was excited, like, oh my God, like he's gonna see, did it work or didn't work? So he started, and I was like, oh, please God, does it fit? Hopefully it fits. And so he zipped it up. And so I'm like, yeah, I felt so happy, so proud of myself. And I was like, it was worth it, those fasting hours. It was worth it, the jogging, it was worth it. And so I felt very proud of myself. So I'm also an ESL teacher, and I'm going to tell myself what I would tell my students. Kiss your brain, right? Kiss your brain, kiss your body too, not just your brain. And of course, this motivated me to, keep going. And I sent a picture to my sisters, and of course they cheered me on, like always. And I have a couple of sisters that they're also intermittent fasting. So maybe later on in other videos, I'll share their journey if they want to share on YouTube. So in those 3 weeks, I ended up losing 6 pounds, and more than 6 pounds. I mean, it was inches. My body, I tried on jeans that didn't fit me before, they fit, and that was just 3 weeks. And so I was so excited, to keep it up. And this is what that dress really motivated me again. So I noticed, like I said, that my clothes fit better. And what's funny is that I had some glasses that I didn't wear because they fit me really tight, around my head. And I tried them on again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they fit me. Like, why do they fit me? And I didn't even think about, like, well, you could lose weight from your head too, or inches, And so I guess that's what happened, because, now they fit me, which is really cool too. So the dress told me everything. The dress told me everything, that I was right on the right track. And at the quinceañera, I felt, fantastic. I received some great compliments, and because others knew that I was fasting to fit in the dress. And so, they said, oh, it was a beautiful dress, it was well worth it. And so I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to keep this up. And I love the way I feel, I love the way I look. And, it's going to make me feel great about myself. And so I thought, I'm going to use my before and after picture. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. So this is my first video, because I want to inspire you. I want to inspire others, just like, the doctors and Jennifer from the Daily Concierge inspired me with her journey. So on my channel, I'll be sharing, what I learned from the experts, and also real people, and maybe tricks, hacks. And so I also invite you to share in the comments, if you've tried intermittent fasting. I would like to know, what worked for you, how many hours. Let's all share together, and I would really love to build a community, a supportive community. So let's all find health one fast at a time, but take it slowly at the beginning, because at the beginning in 2022, when I first started, I had horrible headaches because I just started. And so what I would say now is, like, take your time, maybe ease off a little bit of the refined, carbohydrates. Take it slowly, but there's a lot of great videos on there. And like I said, I'll be sharing what I'm learning as well. So if you're curious, want to be healthy, want to feel good, and interested in fasting, join me in my community. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, and salud to your health.